Joe, we're live. Joe's joining us from an undisclosed location somewhere in the south of France.
Ah, bonsoir, bonjour, bonsoir. Yes, evening, right? Yes.
I have no fucking clue.
Yeah. No, yeah, I just finished up the New Year's Eve party in the south of France. What's today? What's today?
Nice.
16th, that's right. So
Today's the
it was a
16th.
it was a big one.
It was a big one. That's a long ass party, dude.
Yeah, yeah. I'm in a right now a health spa clinic getting my blood filtered out and
Oh,
on a
that's
heavy
good.
dose of oxygen.
That's
Yeah.
very nice. That's very
Yeah.
nice. So look, man, markets just broke 21 again.
Yeah. I mean, we were kind of chatting about this a little bit earlier, but to me, I'm really surprised by this. And and maybe I shouldn't be, but um,
I'm
you know, I got to
surprised.
think. I got to
Look,
think a lot of.
I don't
Hmm?
know if it'll last. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
No,
I
I got to
interrupted
think
you.
a lot of. No, no, it's cool. I got to think a lot of people, realize that you dump all the losers on December 30th and you buy them all back on the first or second or the weekend. Maybe they still hold it a 30-day rule for wash trades, but it's not in the books on crypto. So I just think a lot left and came back in. Um, and I think now we're seeing it where, it is breaking all those, or it is tapping on those doors to move up, as Sean would
Yep.
say, um, which is surprising to me. And so I'm trying to figure out where's the money coming from. And, I just got to think with equities kind of ramping again now in the US, and people call it for some big run there, um, that there's just a sense of optimism that, the doom and gloom of, recession, recession, recession in the US doesn't seem to be taking hold anymore.
It's so
And
fucking weird though, dude. It's like I don't know. I mean, I don't want to get my hopes up that it'll break through here, but it would be nice. I mean, if you look at the my poorly drawn support lines, resistance lines, like 21,757, 22,3, 23. Sean's would be much better. I wish we had Sean's chart right now. But, it broke hard through the one we were talking about last week, that 19,064. And it's trying right now. It's held up here at the 21 mark, but we'll see if it can break through. I have
hey,
no idea.
you don't have access to a fire chart for BTC, do you? Because I'd love to see where those resistance lines are below the price
Let me see
if
if I
they've
have it
moved up.
open. Let me see if I have it open. Hold on. I don't know if I have it open. I don't know. I had it the other day. I was going through fire chart this weekend. Hold on.
I
Let me
saw
see.
it in the Telegram channel earlier.
Here
I
we go.
thought.
Fire chart. Let me make sure it's going to open properly before I move it over here.
Because that would be cool to see where those resistance lines are below the price and what happened to all the short resistance lines up above.
Well, fire chart is just the buy-ins, right? It's not the. I mean, it's where the volume is for buying in on the price point. But here, let me. I
Well,
got
it
it.
also you always have those resistance levels, and those are tied to, like, I think, short orders or long
Yeah, yeah.
positions.
You mean the? I know what you're talking about now. I get what
Yeah,
you mean. Okay, hold on. Let me
I
pull
might be
this up.
using the wrong word.
No, it's all right. All right.
There we go.
So, um, yeah. I mean, look, that was a big breakthrough at 20. Looking at this volume, 9.76 million there at 19.9. 27 million. Now remember, these are based on Binance. So,
Right.
and there's not a lot of fire happening up above here, dude.
I mean, so if it pushes through, there's going to be a mad rush at that point. Um,
22, you got like 7 and 6 million sitting in that area. Right above where we are now, you got about 7.9 million sitting. So, I
Not a
don't
lot.
know. Not a lot. Not a lot.
It is a
Um,
holiday today in the U.S. too.
it
So
is a holiday. That's true.
now, what's the? I
Niblet
can't
said
see it.
that chart makes no sense. I think he was talking about my trading view chart.
So what is the lines below on the wallet sizes buying? how is that? I can't see it real well because I'm on the phone, but is that when it moves to say today, the near term, which was buying and which was starting to sell, or like what's the? I
So
just
you
don't
got
remember what the colors
100,000.
mean.
Purple is 100,000 to 100 million. Um, Brown is 1 million to 10 million. Orange is 100,000 to 1,000. Red is 10,000 to 100,000. Um,
So
Blue
which
is
ones are
all
going up?
orders. Well,
Purple and brown look like
you got 100,000 to 1 million and 1 million to 10 million. So
that are
big
active.
big guys. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that tells me something right there.
Yeah.
Um,
And then the little guys are not. The little guys are hanging out. I mean, there's
yeah.
some, but
But that tells me that that's a lot. It's not like um, we know that U.S. hedge funds and institutions are trading on Binance all the time. Otherwise, they wouldn't all just got subpoenaed last week for it. Um, but when you look at that, those big wallets, that tells me institutionals. So I'm like, it's not like OG whales because they're already there.
yeah.
So to me, it says this is like institutional money, either coming back in or putting more on the stack because those are giant wallets compared to
Yep.
everybody else.
Yep.
So,
Absolutely.
I mean, that could be a good indicator.
Niblet says that does not look like follow the leader action where big bag move and retail echoes. It looks like a lot of money all doing all the same thing, dormant then spike all at the same time. You can look back here. Now here was the retail guys coming in. Well, green is 1,000 to 10,000 orders. Um, you know, so it's been a mix. I mean, there's some truth to what you're saying there.
So where was the big? Where was the big?
Here was a spike from
And what day was that? The purple
no,
spike.
this is what's this price? This was the 13th at like 19 something, 19.5 up to 20.98. And so here you had a mix, but retail
So that was
was
Friday.
starting to leave.
Okay,
Yeah.
that was Friday. So they would leave for the weekend. It's a 3 day
Yeah.
weekend in the U.S.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. So what we'll see is, I mean, look, this is at the bottom for all orders and 1,000 to 10,000. So everybody's nervous or they're just out because it's a long weekend. And I would suspect it's the latter, but I don't, who knows? We'll see. Shizzy says, I think we fly up past 25,000, then in the next 45 days, sit between 20 to 30 until the halving. Interesting theory.
Didn't Sean in the last show or the show before say he kind of discounts the halving effect on peer forward?
Yeah,
Do you remember that? Or,
that's an ongoing debate. I don't remember. I think Sean was a little skeptical about the halving effect, but I don't remember exactly what he said. But that's an ongoing kind of non-ending debate for the guy that puts that halving chart together. What's his name? Is he Plan B? I think is what he's called.
sounds right.
He's obviously still advocating that his chart is right. Although at some point when it didn't look like things were going the right way with his chart, he said, look, this could all be wrong. We'll see what happens. But now I saw him the other day advocating that, he still thinks it's valid. So who knows? Anyway, I'm happy to see it. I think everyone kind of is hanging, waiting to see if they want to jump back in, especially the little guys who can't afford to lose it all. So who knows? We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, it is a let's see what happens. But man, it feels a lot like January 21 to me because I remember there was that run up in December-ish of 20, and then it kind of had a little sell off, maybe the first or second week in January, and then it end of the month. We all know what happened after that.
Right.
So because I remember kind of that was right around when I just started really going. When I was really trading a lot, and I remember being super surprised at that. And then it just kept going. So, who knows? I look, I think the interesting thing too is if all these prices rebound, then, I mean, that kind of resurrects all these underwater groups, Genesis, um, you know, Gemini, SBF, FTX, all of those, because Celsius even. I mean,
Yeah.
look, when this goes back up, I mean, are these actually solvent then? I mean,
Oh,
I
who
think they will
knows?
be,
Yeah. It's
so
interesting.
it's because I was thinking the other day after we talked about, if Grayscale could get that spot ETF approval, what that would do to the space. And, I started thinking, God, if the SEC would just approve that spot ETF for Grayscale, it would save all those companies, literally save all of them and save the space. And then
Right.
go, get Binance if that's what you really want to do. But this would be one, because who's in Grayscale? It ain't people, it ain't the little people.
No.
It's the trade fi institutional types, and that have paid off houses and have tons of capital. So they're probably screaming everywhere for this to be approved. And if they're not, you should get on the phone and call your congressmen or your senators and get them to put pressure on. Because if that approves, as Sean called it, I think hyper bullish, which is, I mean, it's not like that's an unknown word, but the fact that he says that,
Yeah.
means a lot to me. So, that would be, if that happens, maybe that's what everybody knows. Maybe that's what Kathy Woods knew or knows when she doubled down on Grayscale and Coinbase and all of those. Maybe the inside hedgy player types, this is the market chatter that this is getting approved. I don't know.
Yeah.
Nobody said it to me. I have no idea. But there's something going on that it seems like has given people a lot of confidence from that side of the equation, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I would love for that to be the case, dude. That would be fucking awesome. Just watch this whole
Yeah.
thing
Now,
blow up.
now I could get back on my full retirement operation.
Anayet Kabir gives us lots of thumbs up over and over again. Okay. Thanks, Anayet.
Thanks, buddy.
Niblet says 21 had easy money. Where's the easy money this time? Maybe past bull run gains that stay on the sidelines and coming back to play. I don't
Stay.
know.
Yeah. Stay on the sidelines, right?
Stay on. Did I? Yeah. Stay
Yeah,
on
yeah,
the
you said it
sidelines.
right. But I
Yeah.
was saying, I think,
Yeah. Well, this could be it. Let me see if I can find what I was going to load up here earlier. I haven't kept track of these guys because they are who they are. But Shiba Inu is launching an L2. And I don't think that community has died down. I think that, I mean, every time I turn around, I see another, not every time I turn around, every now and then I see another news story about the developers of Shiba Inu building infrastructure, right? And building shit. And I'm kind of amazed that they're continuing to like grow this, dog coin. But they seem to keep building, and they've built the DEX. They're building a layer 2. I mean, you got a shit ton of retail traders who all are holding this thing. It's interesting to keep an eye on. I'm not putting anything over there, and it's not financial advice, but we always talk about continuing to build and continuing to build. So I'm just kind of amazed these guys are actually still at it. They didn't take the money and run. So,
yeah, that's always a good sign. That's always a good
yeah,
sign. It's the same that, I dismiss it too, and I dismiss Doge, but, they're doing stuff.
yeah,
And, I need to sort of pay attention a little better to that, because I think it's graduated from the bullshit pile, basically, to where now they're actually doing something.
yeah.
I don't know what the pricing is on these right now. Has Doge been moving in the last couple of days? Or Shiba Inu?
Let's take a look. Let's take a look.
Yeah.
Not quite as much, but well, wait. Yeah, I'm on daily. So yeah, it's had a nice little move, but not as much. Let's check out Shiba. I don't want Coinbase. About the same as Doge, actually.
Mm.
It's interesting. Not quite as severe a candle up. Shizzy says community coins will be a huge thing next cycle. They are no longer memes. That's actually a really interesting philosophical approach. And I actually, I think there's some merit to that theory. I like that thesis, buddy. Shizzy said I put $100 into Bonk just in case. That's great. That's great. Okay, so you sent me over this. You tweeted out this story, dude. What the fuck is going on? Iran and Russia want to issue new stablecoin backed by gold.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I mean, I don't know how to judge it. I'm not judging it here. I'm just saying that it's interesting if there's one, if it really is physically backed by gold, what that's going to do to the space.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's not like stable coins aren't already in the target sites, so to speak. This one would just, I mean, it would almost be like, nobody would be thinking about Tether or anything else anymore. And worried about that. They'd all be focused on this.
Yeah.
So it would be one that I think that, I mean, think about the sanctions regimes and stuff like that. I mean, that's one that I think if you have to be careful regulatory wise, depending on which jurisdiction, because I'm pretty sure that it would be considered a big red flag to be moving those coins around in your wallet, particularly if you're in the United States of America.
I would not even get,
Yeah.
I mean, anybody getting close to that should just, you're just an idiot.
Yeah, you're just sticking a gun in your mouth. But I think it's intriguing because, it's an experiment, let's say. Can they pull? I mean, they're basically hyping it as, taking out the dollar. So, I mean, you don't think people are going to pay attention at that point?
Of course. Of course. It'll get sanctioned like everything else.
Yeah.
I mean, it's already essentially sanctioned if you think about it, with Iran and Russia creating it. Mm-hmm. So it may just fall under the current sanctions regime.
Yeah. And I guess it's for them to trade with each other. And of course, they'll try to get China into it too.
Yeah.
Or maybe the Saudis or somebody. I don't know if even the Saudis would do it with Iran there. Because of their huge rivalry.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But, it is something to see how it plays out. I was really surprised, and I don't know if it's true. I just saw the story, but I was really surprised to see that. And, let's just see how they play it.
Absolutely. I thought this was interesting. We don't have to spend a lot of time on it, but Binance is allowing institutional investors to keep their collateral off the exchange and using cold wallets.
That is interesting. Because now it's not even liquid staking. So they can't Binance couldn't claw it back if the trade went wrong.
Right.
They would have to administratively get it.
So
but,
it's like
again,
an old school contract.
Yeah. And, the other thing is that it also basically, with all the stuff that's gone on over the last 6 months with all the custody solutions, it kind of, in the no sex, only DEX kind of discussions, it's something that is almost a marketing thing.
Right.
And that it will make the decision point easier for institutionals to go, hey, we can go borrow on this and we don't even have to give it to them. It's like, I think it's a good move. If I was running a big fund at, bulge bracket bank or asset manager, I would certainly be looking at this.
Hell yeah.
Because if your trade goes wrong, how long is it going to take them to collect? A long time.
Binance Mirror could be a major blessing for crypto investors in leveraged markets, as have to keep it. However, using cold storage wallets, users continue to trade crypto during volatile sessions without massive outflows on an exchange. Users' assets would also be protected against on-chain hacks, yada, yada. This is an exercise to build trust among institutions that their funds will remain safe. It's positive development that shows Binance is moving toward becoming an institutionally focused crypto exchange. However, this might not be enough, as exchanges will likely have to work with external custodians to completely eliminate risks around collateral ownership. All right, let's see. Oh, I have not even looked at this list, but you know what? I don't even know who your platform is. Well,
let's go through it. Let's see what they say.
Tokens to keep an eye on. Bitcoin, yes. Ethereum, yes. Polygon, yes. Cardano, no.
No.
Dogecoin, yeah, we just kind of talked about that. Stablecoin, okay. Do they just generally mean every stablecoin? I guess so. They're mentioning Tether and USDC. And that's a really boring fucking article. Okay.
Yeah, move on.
ETH reached 500,000 validators, I guess, this weekend, coming upon the Shanghai upgrade, which will allow everyone to get their tokens out if they so choose. So, and I think that's supposed to happen in, was it March or May? I'm mixing up the M months. Let's see, does it say in this article when Shanghai is supposed to hit? In March. So pretty interesting that new money is coming in this close to being able to take money out. But I'm glad to see that Scamtherium, as Sean would call it, is seeing growth in the validator space. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think when, I was thinking more about that discussion that you guys had, and and it really to me revolves around what the word decentralization means, and in everybody's perspective. And so, from Sean's perspective, and I'm not trying to put words in his mouth, it really hinged around the governance and control of the voting interests of Ethereum. As in, and I think when he says scam, he means that, oh, they said they were decentralized and now they're really not. And not that it's the way we would imply scam. Scam to us seems like, it's a rug pull or it's a thievery or it's, something
Right.
like that. It's a hustle. So
Right.
I don't think, to me, it's not that. But hold on one second, buddy. One second. Just got to get my daughter for.
Okay. So, yeah, look, I agree with Joe that that we just have a different definition of scam.
Yeah.
And the definition of scam is a dishonest scheme of fraud. So, that's under what Sean feels about how Ethereum was funded and who got the bulk of it and the 60% that he claims control it. You could see that as a dishonest scheme because the ICO it was not statistically fair in who got in and who didn't, or who got in early and who didn't. And so you can definitely see his point of view. For us, or for how I think of scam, it's somebody actually stealing money from someone, right? In some way or another, a con, right? So maybe I should use the term con. And so, look, that's a semantics argument, but at the end of the day, it's hard to argue with some of the points he makes about the control by these folks. But I don't, in my mind, for the way I think of the word scam, think of it that way. So,
yeah, I think it's that, if the intent is to steal the money and hustle someone, it is that. But I think that the more stuff that, they're saying, oh, it's, and I guess it was proof of work at the beginning. And I don't remember when they did the ICO. It was still proof of work at the ICO, I guess. But, they then allocated it weirdly. So maybe now today, obviously that would be called out. But maybe when it was only those two players on the board, basically, it seemed more important in marketing language versus an outright hustle. So yeah. I think we're on the same page.
Speaking of scams, I want you to pretend, Joe, for a second with me that you headed up a massive cryptocurrency fund, and your fund completely collapsed, and you impacted and caused cascading liquidation events across the entire spectrum of crypto. And then a few months after you did that, an exchange called FTX also collapsed and caused further damage to the entire ecosystem at dramatic scale. And it was called FTX. I think it would be a great idea for you then to create a cryptocurrency exchange and call it GTX.
Yeah, and let's go out and raise 25 million in seed money too, based upon our track record. And and then we'll just, 2.0 redux.
Dude.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty rich.
You got balls. You gotta have balls, because I don't even know how you do that pitch. I I can't even imagine standing up to make that pitch. I don't.
Well, my first question is, don't you still have 25 million sitting around? You know,
Yeah,
it's not like these guys
yeah,
are broke.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And two, who are they going to? They're probably going to the original investors over there going, hey, let's roll it up. Let's do it again, baby.
And what is
Let's
the
go.
claims market? Do you know what the fuck the claims market is?
Mm-mm. How's it spelled?
Oh
CLAIMS?
fuck! I didn't realize what this is.
What?
They are proposing to specifically target claims against bankrupt firms. So you're going to be, I guess it's like you can trade your claim and sell your claim against in a bankruptcy filing. So if
Hmm.
you think you're going to get 10 cents on the dollar, you can maybe flip it and sell it for 5 cents on the dollar because you want the money now instead of 10 years from now. I'm just assuming what all this
Yeah,
means.
no, that makes sense. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they propose to specifically target claims against bank FTX users selling claims at 10% face value for immediate liquidity or waiting 10 plus years for the bankruptcy process to disbursements.
Look, you're better off waiting 10 years at this point
Yeah, this is an
because, again,
interesting model though.
yeah, it's the value buy, distressed asset buy stuff. I mean,
Yeah,
and hey, if you're on the inside of the scheme, so you're going to know where all the value distressed stuff is, which is probably what they're saying. But this is never going to happen because we know where they're all going to end up next.
yeah.
These are the guys that aren't cooperating with anybody, and they got the Korean authorities after them, and they got presumably others. Um,
Oh, and
I
here's
just
their
don't see how.
partner. Their partner CoinFlex halted withdrawals in June, but resumed partial withdrawals the following month. It also sued an individual user in Hong Kong court that month as it sought to fill an $84 million hole in its balance sheet. It is now in the process of restructuring.
Hmm. I mean, it's a go clean up the space play, but I don't know who would. It's not like they know where all the bodies are buried, and it's not like they really had any real expertise other than the hustle.
Yeah.
So I don't see any real investor doing it, but there's probably plenty of other ones out there that would do it. That maybe it's people sitting on tons of crypto that see it as an opportunity.
I
Um,
I
I
like
don't
the
know.
model. I just wouldn't give any money to those folks, right? So
No,
yeah, I think the model makes sense and could make some serious money. I mean, it's a longer play,
well,
but you know,
but don't forget too that when these guys actually eventually end up in court and they're going for all their assets, whatever ownership in this fund would get seized too. So you really is this fund going to make it for the 10 years required,
yeah,
or is it going to get taken over by the liquidators?
that's
Um,
interesting.
I would say probably the latter is my guess, because they'll go for everything once they have these guys on their hands on them, so to speak.
Yeah, yeah, I
What's
guess.
that thing to the right that says BT price cancels FTX losses? What is that saying in the column to the right of the headline?
I'll find out.
Yeah, as James said, of course they don't want to use their own money. That's
Yeah,
right, man. Remember that movie from maybe the 80s called Other People's Money, I think?
yeah,
And it was Danny DeVito was in it, and he was like, a hedgy type, activist type. I mean, that is a funny movie. Um, if
absolutely.
most people haven't seen it, but it's just his lines in that movie have been used in finance circles for the last, what, 30 years, something like that. So
Yeah.
it's worth watching for everybody.
Well, this
It says
this
it's mitigating
this
Good.
isn't the narrative that the headline said.
Okay.
That's weird. Oh, here you go. Institutional interest recovery. Another chart retracing the entirety of its FTX losses is the largest Bitcoin grayscale. Data from CoinGlass shows that is the 13th, the latest data for which data is available. GPT shares traded at a discount to the net asset value of 36.26%. This discount, formerly positive and known as the premium, has been ticking higher since the end of December and is
Hmm.
now higher than any point since the FTX meltdown. Its largest ever reading came just before that when it hit 48.62. The controversy continues to raise often publicly, but GPTC is delivering its most encouraging results in months. Behind the scenes, Grayscale continues to battle U.S. regulators, blah, 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 to get the ETF.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, but I think that was the point you and I were talking about
Hmm.
before. That this rising price can lift all drowning
These
boats.
guys, yeah, into solvency. You remember that discount rate? I think when we talked to Sean last week was at 43%, and now it's at
Yeah.
32%. So, there's that bodes well for
Shizzy
everybody.
says Shizzy says Harry Yee is an investor in scammer alert. Harry Yee is an advisor in GTX. Great.
Really?
That'll tell
Oh
you everything
God.
you need to know.
Yeah. Thank God he's on the sidelines at our buddies over at the foundation.
Yeah, exactly. That's crazy. Niblet says, "Good Lord, Shizzy, I almost mentioned Harry Yee is a joke."
Hey, by the way, guys, nice show last night. I listened to those guys last night. So,
Oh, good. I didn't
um,
get to hear it. I'll check it out on
yeah.
the YouTube. The folks at World Economic Forum are starting to freak out a bit about crypto.
Mhm.
Nigel Green, the CEO of financial management firm DeVere Group, has warned that global lobbying organization WEF will likely fail if it fails to focus on crypto regulation. So they're looking for us to quickly ban it, right?
Hmm.
Shizzy says it's true. Harry was on Crypto Banner this morning talking about it. What unbelievable. Uh,
Mm.
they all hang together. Anyway, I like seeing them all squirm. It's going to be interesting to see how they react. Let's see what else we got, Joseph. Oh, I thought this was kind of interesting. It's a visual representation of your trading history. So this is DC
Hmm.
Investor, and I thought it was also crypto investments, but I guess it's all NFTs. But it's kind of cool to kind of go in and see. You can set yours up, and you have your own page where it shows all your NFT holdings and all that
Really?
good shit. Yeah, it's
Oh,
kind of
I should
cool.
plug into that because I have a wallet stuffed with them that I never do anything with.
Yeah, there you
Um,
go.
I mean, like I go to OpenSea once every two
Oh,
months to see what's
here
going
we
on. I
go.
realize nothing.
Here's DeFi money. Blue chip holder holds some Yearn. Token swapper made 5 token swaps on dexes and wallets. Airdrop Claymore claimed airdrop from ENS. Bridge user, bridger of assets to ZK Sync. Stablecoin holder owns USDC and DAI. This is actually kind of cool, actually, when you think about it. It's still
What's the
loading
what's
more of
the
this. It
what's the address?
is chainstory.xyz.
Okay.
Chainstory.xyz. For those of
Okay.
you playing along at home. Oh yeah, a lot more loaded. Oh, he's got a ton of shit. Waiting for the DeFi and money to load. Community. He's in a VIP community. He's a DAO contributor to Nouns DAO and Super Rare. Uh, NFT investment DAO member. This is cool. I actually like this. I hadn't loaded it up before the show, so it's pretty interesting.
Chainstory.xyz. Okay,
Yes,
cool.
sir. Yes, sir. Uh, I have not done Polygon. I haven't done any research, but Polygon's doing a hard fork tomorrow
Whoa.
to address gas spikes and chain reorg problems, I guess, in the current code. Um, the software is going to it's January 17th will address gas spikes and chain reorgs. Involves an adjustment to how it sets gas fees, a kind of tax one pays out, blah, blah, blah. With the fork, Polygon aims to reduce the spikes in gas prices that tend to occur when there's a lot of activity on chain. Although gas will still increase during peak demand, it will be more in line with the way Ethereum gas dynamics work now, Polygon said. The goal is to smooth out spikes and ensure a more seamless experience. The second proposed chain addresses reorgs, which can occur when a validator node, one of the computer, receives information that temporarily creates a new version of the blockchain. Such an event makes it difficult to properly verify if a transaction is successful, since nodes will need to reconcile which chain is the correct one. They have frequent up reorgs now. Polygon wants to reduce the amount of time it takes to finalize a block to verify successful transaction. The plan is for Polygon's sprint length to be reduced from 64 to 16 blocks. So
Hmm.
it doesn't sound like there's any significant impact on users in terms of having to do anything or anything else.
Yeah, but how
Um,
much can the gas prices be spiking? I mean, they're not. Polygon is like low, low, low.
well, yeah, I
Um,
think they just feel like people have an expectation of it being low, 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 and then
mhm.
when it's not because it's spiking because of clogged network,
Hmm.
they let me check something here, see if I can find some data. I was looking for a chart. Nope. That's not helpful. Gas price chart. Yeah, okay. This shows the spikes. So see
Oh
how we
yeah.
have these big spikes here?
Just out of curiosity, what is the charge at the top of the spike? Like for that
Uh,
gas?
it just tells you in Gwei. I have no idea.
All right. But yeah, so 10 times it looks like the normal, or
Yeah.
15 times the normal,
Yeah, yeah,
basically.
yeah. It's usually down here. So I guess that's well, and I thought even these spikes get a little bit crazy, right? So
Hmm.
364 Gwei versus 89. One one 1,382 Gwei. So that's pretty significant jump, 10x, like you said.
Hmm.
So it's a
Hey,
smart thing for them to address.
it stabilizes the network for going forward because it's only going to
Shizzy
scale up more business.
Shizzy says I'd pay more in gas for the security of 64 blocks over 16. No, that's a really valid point. I mean,
Good point.
I think in the case of Polygon, 16 is probably enough. But maybe they could have gone to 32. But I would assume the brains at Polygon have thought through this issue pretty significantly at this point. So we'll see.
Yeah,
We'll
they're a
see.
smart team, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Did we talk about Gemini and Genesis being charged by the SEC? We did, didn't we? Selling
We may
unregistered
have mentioned
security.
it. Yeah, we
Yeah,
didn't go into it in depth though, but we did mention it a couple times, I think.
yeah,
So
yeah. I think we're good on that.
I thought it was so funny just to have all the open letters out there from Cam, and now we know why.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly,
so
exactly.
he was just panicking.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but look, if again, spot ETF, if it got approved for grayscale, would immediately put Genesis and DCG into solvency, which would immediately allow them to pay back the money to Gemini, which would immediately allow them to pay back the money. It's just if I'm sitting there and I'm Gary Gensler and I'm like, oh shit, we're gonna have a massive train wreck here now when these fuckers fold, but I can save the day by approving a spot ETF on BTC, I do
yeah,
it
yeah. You
because
would think.
one, it makes me look better to like all the Wall Street cats and everybody else that I'm going to be looking for a job from soon. But also, it just saves all this getting dragged in front of Congress and shit to explain why this happened, and it just takes it off the board as an issue.
Yeah, it's totally
So,
true, and that
not,
logically makes sense. But I think he's the type that his ego is so embedded in being anti that
mhm,
he would feel like
can't
it's a
stomach it.
loss. Yeah, it's a he loses, right? And he's just the type that can't afford in his own mind to lose, and he would see it as a loss. Of course, he
Yeah,
could spin it the right way, exactly what you said. He could spin it to be, hey, we think Bitcoin is not a security. We think Bitcoin has value. We think there are a lot of investors hurting. We want to do what's good, and we've waited long enough. Now let's do an ETF. But I just think his ego won't let him do it. So
yeah. I mean, there's so many arguments. I mean, he could be like because it's such a short-term ego play for him because look, if he did it and then everything recovers, he's like, I saved the crypto industry.
exactly,
You know, I saved
exactly.
you guys hundreds of billions of dollars, and that ego gets in play then.
Yep.
So I hope. I mean, I'm just hoping he's as selfish and narcissistic as I think he is, and thinks of it that way.
Yeah.
Because what's good for him then is good for us.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
no
Before
matter
we,
what we think of him personally.
yeah, before we close for the day, there was a big NFT holder that got his shit stolen.
Hmm.
I don't know if it was Friday or over the weekend. I don't remember. But here's what he did wrong. If you've got a cold wallet, don't put the private keys for that wallet into MetaMask or into anything else digital on your computer or any other device, because then it's now a hot wallet. The idea behind a cold wallet, and this is a great, I'm going to put this in the show notes because it's a great little summary of why this
Hmm.
works. But essentially, the idea is that your cold wallet is storing your private keys, right? That's what it's keeping safe, your private keys. As soon as you take that private key for that same wallet and you put it into MetaMask or somewhere on your computer or somewhere on your phone, you have no longer protected your private key and you need to start over. So this guy put his private key into MetaMask and created so he could see his, instead of connecting the cold wallet to MetaMask, he actually pasted in the MetaMask key and then later on downloaded by mistake malware. And so the malware looks for and waits to see if it can access a wallet. And if that private key is there, and once they do, you can walk it out. So he thought he had everything protected in a cold wallet. He didn't realize that putting that private key into MetaMask meant that if his computer was ever compromised, everything gets cleaned out, which is what happened to him.
So is this where people are using, say, a ledger to authenticate trades on MetaMask and they get confused and put it in?
I think that they get confused. I will tell you, the steps of setting up a ledger can be very confusing, especially for people who have never dealt with a cold wallet, right? And so what happens is, I mean, Ledger is very explicit in their instruction on how to do it properly, and they never tell you to put the private key into MetaMask, et cetera, et cetera. But I think people don't understand how it works and what the purpose of a cold wallet is. And so they want to see what's going on with their wallet or want to do a transaction, and they end up putting it in MetaMask, or they just get lazy and they're like, fuck it, nobody's going to hack my computer. Either way, this guy turned his cold wallet into a hot wallet, put it on MetaMask, and then wasn't safe about something he downloaded to his machine, and basically, invited thieves in to steal his shit. And so they did.
Well, look, the way, I mean, I have, for my hot wallet, obviously there's multiple wallets in there. But for my cold wallet, that's just where I store everything.
Right.
And I don't keep a lot in the hot wallets. Nothing that I would worry about getting snatched, let's say. I mean, I'd be bummed, but I wouldn't be like screwed.
Right.
And I don't do it on centralized exchanges either. So, I think I do have I'm doing something with the ledgers. I do use that over on the old MyEther wallet, Mew.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm somehow doing something with it there, but never with any seed phrase. That's what's so weird. I just don't get how people would, unless they're going to the MetaMask, installing a new MetaMask wallet, and moving a MetaMask wallet to another device or another browser, and then you enter the seed phrase in to get that up. Are they mistakenly entering in the Ledger seed phrase at that point, and then having the same seed phrase for both? I don't get it.
I don't either. It's crazy. But anyway,
be safe, everyone.
It's a confusing process. So I will, if you want to understand a little better, I'll put this thread in there. It's a good explainer on
cool
what to do. That's all I have loaded, Joe.
Hey, it's a holiday, man.
It's a holiday. It's a short day. Yeah. Well, we made it 45 minutes, whatever. So cool. Shizzy, Niblets, James, Yolerkoser, Aniette. That's everybody. Thank you so much for participating. We love and appreciate you. Please, if you get a moment, just go to Spotify or Apple Podcasts and give us a rating and a review over there. Make sure you subscribe so you get the latest episodes if you're listening on your favorite podcast app. If you're watching us on YouTube, smash the thumbs up and click the subscribe button and turn on alerts so you get notified when new episodes come out. We love and appreciate all of you. Happy MLK Day. Joe, have a lovely afternoon.
Hey, you too, man. It's chilly out this morning. It's nice now. But enjoy the weather, dude. I mean, this is what we're here for.
Absolutely.
It's a little bit chillier than I think is optimal, but it's just a great time to be outside. And everybody else, if you're not in these plays, be super careful if you start entering in now.
Yeah.
In the sense, do the stuff that, not quite at Sean's level of the 100 entries, but, spread that stuff out a little bit.
Absolutely.
And, don't commit the stack, be smart and be safe.
Yep.
All right.
Absolutely. Have a great one, everybody. Take care.
Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.